Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hanging Out for a Living, where we bring you insightful conversations with remarkable individuals who are making a difference in the world of well-being and wealth. Today, we have the pleasure of introducing Gail Biddulph, a visionary leader with a passion for integrating well-being into operational performance. With her expertise, Gail is driving stress-free human behavior and placing cellular level well-being at the core of sustainable high performance. Gail is here to inspire us to feel good, think good, and do good in both life and in business. Gail, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you, Teresa, for inviting me. As I say, it's an absolute joy. Thank you.
And before we hit the record button here, folks, I had asked Gail to help me pronounce her last name. And I had said to her, I don't think I'm going to say it, but I did. So I hope I did it justice, Gail. And if I didn't, I do apologize.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right in. Gail, your approach emphasizes integrating well-being with operational performance. So can you share with us some key insights into how prioritizing well-being can really enhance an organization's overall performance and success?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole approach is every successful business has happy, healthy people at its core, at its heart. And over the years, I've actually found that when people are happier, a business performs far better. Performance of a business for me is that it is more profitable. We have better client experience. We have a growing market share. And really, a business is hitting all of those key performance indicators that the board, that the business owners want. So what I've found is when people are happy and healthy and getting along really, really well together, the business finds that the client experience improves, profitability improves, market share improves, as I say. The overall quality of work significantly improves, but with a lot less effort. People are more engaged. And people actually want to stay at a company. Teresa, I think there's an old cliche, isn't there, that people never leave a job. They actually leave a manager because there's some sort of tension between the people. So if we actually see that productivity improves, that the communication improves, it is just a happier, healthier, more profitable way to earn our living, whether we're business owners or we are employees. So that's what I find.
Wonderful. I love that. The foundation and then building from there is absolutely brilliant. Your dream envisions a world where everyone becomes healthier, happier, and wealthier, and where collaboration and generosity are the norm. What steps do you believe are necessary to turn this dream into reality?
I'm very practical. So today, we are chatting, aren't we, about the practicalities rather than any of the theory behind. But I am practical, but I'm also evidence-based. So I think that a lot of the time we're now told what we ought to do. We're told what to do, but not necessarily how to do it. So I think having simple, easy steps of how to do something is really important. So just for a couple of minutes, let's chat about the easy things that we can all do every single day just to reconnect to being human. So for a start, we want to try and rebalance our nervous system. That sounds really, really complicated. So how can we do it? It does, doesn't it? How do we do that? It's like, hours and hours of concentration. But no, I mean, I've just done something there in that instant. I gently touch my lips. That straight away starts a calming reaction to our nervous system. A smile, a thank you. These are all feel-good factors, which again, we chat about. It's polite, it's nice. You go into a shop, you're at work, you smile, you say thank you. the other person actually feels elevated. They feel, oh, it's been so nice to have a chat with you. But that simple reconnection is a massive boost to our nervous system. So then, we can start to get into how we're breathing, how we're moving, the reconnection to nature, just something very simple like feeding the birds. All of these little things make a big difference. And then, thinking about it at work, what can we do to constantly reduce the stress? Well, we can take more or frequent breaks. We can ditch multitasking. Oh my goodness, that's one of the biggest stresses that I actually see, because we haven't got that completion of something. So there's all these little things, but I think from that real pure business perspective, it is about understanding what's causing the stress. And it is usually a miscommunication, a misunderstanding between people at work, maybe between departments. And it's quite often an irritation within a business process that actually causes people to feel stressed. And of course, as soon as we feel stressed, we accumulate even more stress.
Yes.
So it's getting to that root cause of what that real problem is, sort it out, and then people are happier and healthier.
Absolutely. And what I love about what you shared is that you don't have to bite off a big chunk so that it's overwhelming. It could be small steps you do every single day. And maybe as you master those, you add one more. So it doesn't become exceptionally overwhelming. Because when you first
Absolutely.
started out, I'm like, oh my gosh, you need a you need like a doctorate or something. And then you really part it down to make it so incredibly simple. And thank you for sharing that. One thing you did touch on is stress. So let's talk about chronic stress and disease prevention, which are central actually to your vision. Could you elaborate on the strategies and practices individuals and organizations can adopt to mitigate stress and promote long-term well-being? And I know that you touched on a little bit on that earlier, but if there's anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, I over the years, and I've been studying stress performance for, I'll admit to 20 years, but it's probably longer than that. I've actually found that as soon as we are feeling stressed, we are actually creating, unwittingly or knowingly, an inflammation within the body somewhere. And as stress continues to rise, it becomes chronic. And by that, I mean, it's within us all of the time. We're not having that time to actually rest, relax, and let our whole nervous system recalibrate. So I actually look at this disease prevention and alleviating stress from, again, that very, very human way of living. Every time we become stressed, we add that extra little bit of inflammation. And over that period of time, the inflammation in our body systems, can't get away. And that's then what's underlying with an awful lot of the chronic illnesses, diseases that people are suffering. And this is well documented. In very, very many different ways, all the different disciplines of medicine are now actually finding that inflammation is underneath a lot of what we are suffering and seeing today. So as a root cause analysis, I actually go back and say, right, if we are feeling that stress, we are getting that inflammation, how can we possibly stop it in the first place? So that's sort of my whole rationale as to, right, let's get rid of the stress. And then we're actually giving our body the time to rest, to digest, to actually get rid of any feelings, negative feelings, stressful feelings. So it comes back into that balance and equilibrium so we can live our lives joyfully and happily.
Absolutely. Gail, your message is about transformation, literally from the inside out. Can you provide examples of stories from your journey or the journey of those you've worked with that highlight the power of internal transformation in achieving growth and prosperity?
Yeah, should we start with my quick story?
Yes.
Looking back, Teresa, it was my father who actually taught me a lot of these foundational things of being human. And I was sort of 5 or 6. Looking back now, I think it's quite naive for me to think that every little girl's daddy used to teach them these things. How wrong was I? But for many, many, many years, I just thought it was completely normal. And then I found out that this approach is not necessarily the norm. But in 1995, I was actually embarking on a solo charity motorcycle ride. I was going to go motorcycle around the UK, raising money for charity. At the time, I had a significant, in fact, probably the most stress and anxiety I've ever had in the whole of my life. It was unrelated to the ride, but nevertheless, it was still there. And my back went into spasm, my lower back. And I looked like a crooked S walking around. In fact, I couldn't even stand up straight.
Oh my.
And despite all the best efforts of some amazing medical professionals, they couldn't fix me. So I really had no option but to step back into what I'd been taught as a child. And I actually dissolved all of the emotions, all of the pain, and went on to complete the ride and raise high 5 figures for the charity. So that's sort of 2 sides there. I then really dived into what I'd done and how I'd done it. And nowadays, I actually see people, a quick example, a mum runs a small business. She was really, really struggling to get clients and to maintain a steady income. And inevitably, she was so worried that she was going home. She was snappy. She was irritated. She was frustrated. And all of that had a huge effect on her family. So we worked together. And the more connected she became inside, the more her home life became harmonious. And this, Teresa, just made my heart melt. One day, she said to me that her little girl had said, "Mummy, I really, really like it when you smile more." Oh. And that was just, heartwarming. And this lady went on to have a hugely successful business. She took control of her hours. She took control of her inner life. And she spent more time with her family, which is why she set her business up in the first place.
Such an uplifting story. Thank you for sharing that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude our conversation with Gail today, we're reminded of her inspiring dream of creating a world where well-being and wealth go hand in hand, where collaboration and helping others succeed are paramount. It's a vision that holds the promise of a brighter, healthier, and more prosperous future for all of us. If you're as intrigued and motivated by Gail's insights as we are, we invite you to connect with her to continue this transformative conversation. You can find her contact information in the description of this video. Together, we can take steps towards unlocking endless possibilities and showcasing the incredible power of transformation from the inside out. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And remember, the journey to well-being and prosperity begins within. Until next time, thank you again, Gail. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.